To introduce you to left joins and right joins, we're going to start with a simple query against our actor table from week 1, looking for a particular actor by the name of Woody Hoffman. Now run the query, and we should see our actor. Next, let's add a new line in our from clause and add our first table join. Before we go any further, let's refer quickly to our ERD diagram in pgadmin and recall that the actor table is joined to the film actor table using the actor ID as the foreign key. Then let's go back to our query tool and type left outer join film underscore actor, start a new line, indent, and say on film actor dot actor ID equals actor dot actor ID, and then run the query again and watch what happens. Whoa! Now, all of a sudden, we have 31 records in our results, all of them saying Woody Hoffman. What has happened here is that we have created a relationship in our query between the actor table and the film actor table using the actor ID column they both share. In SQL, joins are written as part of the from clause, and most joins include the on logical operator, which allows us to specify the nature of the relationship between the two tables. With the on operator, we can say that two columns must be equal to each other, like we did here. Or we can specify other filter criteria. We can even use the and or operators to specify multiple filter criteria. Now remember that the film actor table is only the middle part of 3 tables. Refer back to the ERD and note that the film actor table connects to the film table via the film ID column. So that we see that we also need to join our film table into this query if we want to get the names of the films that Woody Hoffman has starred in. So let's go back to our query tool and let's add another left outer join to the query. And we'll say left outer join film on film.filmid equals filmActor.filmid. Now we're adding the film table to the query, joining it to the film actor table, and specifying that the two tables are joined on the film ID that they share in common. And if we run the query again, we should still get 31 rows of Woody Hoffman. So this is good. Now, let's add in the titles of the films that Woody starred in by going to our select clause and adding a third column, film.title. And then let's add an order by clause saying order by 3. And then run the query again, and we should get an alphabetical list of all 31 films that Woody Hoffman has starred in. And oh yes, who doesn't remember Woody's breakout performance in the Oscar-winning art house film Pajama Jawbreaker? Or his ill-advised attempt at comedic acting in the big-budget flop Snowman Roller Coaster. Obviously, these are not real movies. I just want to illustrate how ridiculous some of these titles are, and just point out that this is all randomized data that's generated as part of the DVD rental sample database, so don't take any of it seriously. So let's take our left outer join to the next step, and let's suppose that we want to see all of the actors and actresses who starred in Snowman Roller Coaster alongside Woody Hoffman. To do so, let's get rid of our original where clause and replace it with a new clause that says where film.title equals Snowman Roller Coaster, and then run the query again. We should get 3 results now: Uma Wood, Woody Hoffman, and Matthew Carey. Obviously, Matthew Carey is the younger and far less talented brother of Hollywood comedy legend Jim Carrey. Again, totally joking here, Matthew Carey is not a real actor, and Snowman Roller Coaster is not a real film. Before we go any further, I'll point out that you do not need to specify the word outer in a left outer join. When you write a left join, the outer is implied, so you can write a left join in one of 2 ways, using either left outer join or just using left join. Either way you write it, the results will be exactly the same. To demonstrate, just take out the outer and run the query again. As for me, I always just write left join because it's faster, and because anyone who knows SQL and who looks at my code will know that left join and left outer join mean the exact same thing. Some SQL developers like to be as explicit as possible, and they will include the outer even though it is redundant. That's okay. But for the rest of this course, I will write my left outer joins as left join. Before we go, let's also do a demonstration of the right join, which you will remember is just the opposite of a left join. To demonstrate the right join, I'm just going to change the word left to right in both of my join statements. I'll even add an outer to my first right join to show you both possibilities. And then when we run the query, we get the exact same results we got before when we used left join. So if left joins and right joins do the same thing, is there any reason to prefer one over the other? Well, if you're from a Western culture that reads from left to right, a left join might make more sense to you. Those people whose native languages are Arabic, Farsi, Urdu, or Hebrew may prefer to use right join. However, since SQL is written left to right, I think it probably makes the most sense to use a left join. I've worked with several developers over the years who are native speakers of Arabic and Urdu, and they always still use left join instead of right join, because in the context of writing SQL, it seems to be the most logical choice. In the next video, we'll explore the differences between inner join and left join.